Hello and welcome to another edition of the Hurry Up from the SportsHeads on Alt Sport. I'm Andre Dixon, your host, still in the bunker. I'm joined with my mates, my pals, Daniel Falui and Sam Morgan. How are you guys?
Pretty well, mate. Pretty well. Surviving in yet another bunker like you.
Yeah. It's we're on day 2,796 or something like that. Dan, how are you? Quickly,
mate. I don't know where I feel. I don't know where I stand in this. Obviously, we're going to talk about DESHAUN Watson. He's my boy. So we are going to talk about it. I don't know where I feel this because actually, no, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm probably just going to be a homer. Whatever DESHAUN wants to do, I'm just going to support that team.
See, this is what the main thing is on his mind. His favorite QB. Let's see if he can actually be impartial on this. And my bestie, Hannah Wilkes, Sky Sports at NFL. How are you?
I'm okay, thanks. I'm okay. Surviving. Staying sane, just.
I know. Don't worry. We've got the Super Bowl next week at least to be able to look forward to, and then a whole lot of hockey, basketball, and anything else to be able to fill us time until September. So don't worry. Well, let's get to it. Lots to be able to catch up on this week's news. So Dan, I'm going to ask you just really quickly just to be able to update us because this is a fluid moving moments, and obviously you spoke to the Texans this week. Obviously DESHAUN Watson is very unhappy, unhappy at the Texans, and he's requested a trader, I believe. But can you fill us in exactly with the moments up to where we are now?
Yeah, so DESHAUN actually requested a trade weeks ago, but they only released it now. His people only released it now. Effectively, DESHAUN Watson has been upset with the Houston organization for quite some time. You know, they traded Dwayne Brown over and got those terrible picks in return. They've traded his wide receiver without him knowing, DeAndre Hopkins. And what the organization, because this is first long before, so what the organization actually promised DESHAUN, or Carl McNair, the owner, was that he will be involved in or have some sort of input in the GM search. That didn't happen. You know, they went outsourced people to tell them they should hire. Lewis Riddick and I think another guy by the name of Khan were the two recommendations. They dismissed that, went for the Patriots guy, and DESHAUN was just livid. He found out through sort of social media. And so that just sort of, that's when DESHAUN actually put in the trade request, sorry, I should say. And I think that's when they decided to hire, say, DESHAUN Watson. By that point, he was just like, mate, nope, you're not really going to listen. Put in a trade request. So officially, DESHAUN Watson has put in a trade request to the Texans organization. We're going to see what's going to happen. But yeah, it's a bit crazy right now because it's DESHAUN Watson. He's a franchise QB.
So what I'm going to ask you guys is really like, you know, all right, let's say in the scenario that they're going to let him go. Who do you guys think that should actually be in for DESHAUN Watson? I'll start off with you, Sam. Where do you think he should go to next?
It depends from there's two sides to this. For me, I think the Jets, with the picks that they've got, should probably actually trade Dax. They need an established QB. They need to not have that ifs and buts. They need a QB that can come in and just start from the off. The good thing then for the Texans is that there's picks there that you can give a new GM a good chance to play around with something. That's how I see it. What I will tell you is where I don't want to see him. I do not want to see him anywhere near the NFC West. Please do not go anywhere near San Fran. It's a horrible place to be, DESHAUN. Don't go. Weather's rubbish, and it's just not good for you. That's how I'm seeing it. But I think the Jets, and I think. But for him, I don't know if it's the good place to be. Him personally, I'm sure. I'll ask his PA Daniel in a minute, but I don't think it's where he wants to go because he wants to win, and I just don't think the Jets right now have got enough time for him to get that win.
Hannah, what say you?
I kind of agree with Sam. I don't want him in the NFC West, no matter how great he would look in a Kyle Shanahan offense. No, thank you. We don't need it. It's already too tight, but then it also kind of disintegrated that division back end of this season. We don't want him. Keep him in the AFC. I think the Jets is the most viable because you've got to look at the package that the Texans will get in return because he's got it's a no trade contract, but interestingly, Watson himself has a big say, so he gets to basically cherry pick where he'd want to go to. And I think the Jets potentially would be appealing to him. They'll definitely be appealing to the Texans organization because they get a load of first round picks back that they currently won't have otherwise. it's New York, it's a big market. You've got Robert Saleh, the new head coach. So whilst it's a team that struggled, there are perhaps the pieces there that, especially from Salah's perspective, like how great to start your tenure by bringing in Deshaun Watson and building from there. I think that other places, a lot being talked, the Carolina Panthers are going to go from quite aggressively. I'm not sure they can maybe make that deal work. I think they'd almost have to offer up Christian McCaffrey in return. And do you really want to, it becomes a balancing act there, doesn't it? So, yeah, and there's also the Colts being floated around as well, and I can't personally see that one happening. I think the Jets are the team best placed to make a deal that appeals to the Texans. And if they sell it right to Deshaun Watson, that's where I think he's most likely to end up.
You see, Hannah says that she doesn't want him to go to the NFC West, but if he was to go to the Rams,
well, obviously, then I'd want that.
You see,
stupid, Dre.
You see? So you would trade Goff, you would throw Goff out there as quick as possible. You wouldn't.
Yeah, but you got to look at
any
the
loyalty.
side of it. Can the Rams offer the Texans a package? You can have Jared Goff, but the Rams haven't got any first round draft picks. They've got no cap. Like, there's not a lot they can really
sell it more. You got to sell it more. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. You got to be like throw everything in there.
I'm always a realist above and beyond. Beyond being a homer, I'm always a realist.
Dan, what say you?
I think there's some merit in terms of what Hannah and Sam said, because I know that Deshaun actually likes Robert Saleh a lot, and he was one of sort of vied for him trying to get the Texans job, him alongside Eric Bieniemy. So there is some merit there. But if I was Deshaun, would I really want to go and swap dysfunction for dysfunction? The Jets have been a dysfunctional organization for a very long time. So even with Robert Saleh, even with the GM, do I trust the Jets organization? No. I would personally, I think 49ers will probably be the best route for Deshaun's career. I think he will win a Super Bowl. He will win MVP if he went with Kyle Shanahan. I don't think the 49ers appeal to him personally. I would personally say Miami is probably the best bet for him. I think what Miami can give up, they've got 2 first rounds. They've got 2. I'll probably do that for Deshaun. Deshaun's got the pieces right there. I do know that Deshaun doesn't really want to go to a place that has to swap up pieces just to get him, because then it's pointless. You're doing the same thing with Houston. So I know for him, I think organization and what they're doing, and I know with the Miami, they've got a black GM, they've got a black head coach that does appeal to someone like Deshaun. I think Miami's a good shout personally for me, and I think I would love to see him in Miami, to be fair. I think the Jets are just going to probably waste his career just like the Texans, so I wouldn't want to go with the Jets.
But I would have a lot of belief in Robert Saleh. I think from the interviews and obviously from his career as well. Like everywhere he's gone, he's left a positive mark. He's amazing. Like I wanted him for the Giants. Like really, he's an amazing coach. So let's just see where he goes. But I know all of you are trying to steer him away from your division. So in that sense, I'm going to keep putting it out there.
Awful.
You need to, Deshaun, I'm talking to you directly. You need to go to the 49ers if possible.
I said the 49ers. I said
then you will win a Super Bowl ring the next season. That's for sure. I'm 100% sure. And then the Cardinals won't make the playoffs again. That's what I hope.
With the 49ers as well. He does like the look of the 49ers. He's been, with what he's been doing on Instagram and social media, there's been a lot of 49ers love going on. So it wouldn't surprise me. I just don't want it to happen.
What can the 49ers give up? I don't know what the 49ers can give
Jimmy
up.
Jimmy G and the future first rounds. But this is going to be the biggest trade in NFL history. And I reckon it's going to take no less than 3 first rounds and a key caliber player to get Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, I mean, you say that it could be the biggest trade ever, but there is moving on to the next quarterback that we're talking about, because we're quarterback heavy this week on the show. We are talking about the bad man, Aaron Rodgers. Unfortunately, he didn't do what he's supposed to do, where he had an opportunity to run 8 yards and he for some reason didn't. He said he thought he had another opportunity to be able to get a touchdown, and then Matt LaFleur decided to play safe and go for a field goal. Still doesn't make any sense to me. Now I'm still upset and I'm still crying about it, but that has led to a lot of speculation, because after the game, he gave interviews, and then he said, obviously, a lot of people's careers here or futures here are uncertain, including his own, which obviously led to a big lot of talk about him moving and where he's going to move to, so forth. So Hannah, I'm going to come to you, because I know you definitely don't want this to happen. Do you see the Packers and Aaron Rodgers parting ways, or do you think it's just the every season, off-season talk seems to be that he's going to be moving on?
Aaron Rodgers will be the starting quarterback for the Green Bay Packers next September. It's a fact. He's come out himself and kind of clarified since as well. Of course, when you're talking in the aftermath of a loss like that, like there are losses and then there are that kind of losses where you're sat on the bench helplessly and the game is just, they lost that game more than the Buccaneers won it, I really think. And he's talked about it since. And he kind of said, and there are some uncertainties for a lot of players. You look at free agency. Aaron Jones, potential free agent. Their center, Corey Linsley, potential free agent. So yeah, there is uncertainty, and he was obviously just in that pensive frame of mind. Like it's an emotional time. I think of course we do it because it makes great story and it's great to speculate, but we put so much into those sort of interviews would have just happened after this huge emotional loss where you could tell he was literally working through things in his head. The disappointment's really raw. Like, you know, a Super Bowl opportunity has just been ripped away from again. He's lost 4 conference championship games. I don't think any other quarterback has ever lost 4. Like that's going to hurt. Of course he's going to say stuff. But no, I think he's gonna be there. I mean, they won't want to let him go. Why on earth would you let Aaron Rodgers go anywhere else in the league? I mean, what I think was really highlighted with that NFC Championship game, with the Bucs winning, is that you saw what the Bucs did last offseason, and it highlighted what the Packers didn't do. So hopefully some lessons get learned there, and they're in a better place come September. But he's not gonna be out of there realistically. Why would you let him go? Why would you let one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game go anywhere else? It's just a lesson for maturity and for the organization to go, we have to give this guy what he wants, because he is our best chance of winning a Super Bowl in the next 5 years, because once he's gone, you're gonna have a gap unless Jordan Love happens to be the most incredible quarterback that's ever played the game.
Sam, do you agree with Hannah?
Yeah, I don't see him go anywhere, but I think the main thing that everyone's going to look back again is, why on earth did you pick 26th overall Jordan Love? That's I know we've been vocal about that in the past, but that's a question mark, really. Well, you know, you knew what you had in Aaron Rodgers. He's got you this far. I don't think it was his fault that they lost, but it comes down to, again, just decisions that are being made. Something must have happened for them to think that there was a chance he may not be involved in this organization to pick Jordan Love. That's how I would see it. I still think he'll be there, because I just don't. By the time they get round to a pick, who are they going to get to replace him at this point? And what have they got? They haven't got anything. I don't know what the cap space is like to make any sort of particular moves. But yeah, I think he'll be there. But they really got to get that planning right. Jordan Love, for me, I don't see him being the answer either. Even in the long term, I don't even know if he had a snap. Did he have a snap this year? I don't think he did. No. So what faith was there? Even when games were sort of done, you know, could he have got a few snaps to get that experience? They didn't even do that. So there isn't much forward thinking, forward planning for me. So I think, yeah, Aaron Rodgers will be there and will be starting next year.
Dan, what do you think?
Mate, he's staying. Let's not lie. He's staying. I do get his frustration, because when you, like Hannah said, when you look at what the Bucs did, they went off season and they put pieces around Brady to win. You know, the Saints, I think when after going the third 8-8, they're like, okay, look, we need to put pieces around Drew Brees. We need to fix with the defense, put pieces around Drew Brees to try and help him win. You know, teams need to do that. I think when you've got a rookie QB, you put pieces around them. When the QB is at sort of the latter stages of their career, you put pieces around them. And that's what Green Bay need to do. Green Bay is not a great place for free agents in the first place. You know, it is a shocking place, but what you can do is, you've got the allure of Aaron Rodgers, put pieces around him to help him. I don't think he's going. I think he was just frustrated, which is understandable. But also Aaron needs to, you know, I know I rate Aaron Rodgers, but you also need to look at yourself in the mirror. You know, Brady turned the ball over 3 times in the second half. You guys didn't really do much after on offense. That's also, you got to take some accountability on that as well. Not just Matt LaFleur, but yourself.
I mean, he had as I mentioned earlier on, he had an opportunity to run. I didn't really get why he didn't.
No, why he didn't. He's kind of said why he didn't, because he thought he'd be having a 4th down. Like,
yeah, but even so, if you got 8 yards to be able to go, I mean, who am I to question? Him I've been meaning all week, I still haven't done it. I still need to look at that play from the all 22 angle, because it could have looked very different from where he was
from when we were
Well,
watching them.
I mean, there's a school of thought that because he got hit a few times, and anytime a quarterback gets hit a few times, then what happens is that you just think, oh, I don't want, you naturally as a human being think, I don't want to get hit again. So therefore, if you've got 8 yards to go and you're looking at, but there was an opportunity for him to be able to do so. So I don't really get why you wouldn't go as far as possible, if you see my point.
Yeah. But also as well, I think it still comes down to coaching, because if you're Aaron Rodgers having an MVP level season, which he has had, and you are a few seconds away from the 2-minute warning and you are within goal, on what planet are you thinking, oh yeah, my coach will be calling for a field goal here, like we're going to take this chance. So he said that himself, that he thought there'd be a fourth down opportunity as well. So I don't think we can read too much into that, because all quarterbacks make those kind of decisions every game, like every single one. You could be screaming at the TV going, you could have run that there. You don't know what this is.
And you know what? St. John was the biggest criminal, because that ball went straight into his chest and he still didn't catch it. Now, I'm not a qualified receiver in any form of way, but I'm quite sure that in that situation, with all that time and Aaron Rodgers literally handing it to you, that I would have caught that. Well, I hope I would anyway. I want to let down that bad man. Anyway, right. So let's move on to Matthew Stafford. Obviously, I think that's kind of his movement and his possible destinations have gone under the radar. I really do rate him, and I think that he could actually do some damage in a better team. But Sam, where do you think is the best fit for him to be able to go to? Obviously, there's talk of him going to the Cowboys, but what say you?
I think we mentioned a couple of teams already. I mean, we mentioned the Colts. We mentioned obviously the Panthers. Now, I was saying I don't think he should move from the Lions to the Colts, and I see it as a sideways step. Please hear me out. Please hear me out. It was like sync. You two were in sync then. No,
you're crazy.
If you want to win, I'm sorry, for him to actually win something, where am I going to go and win? And I'm looking at the Colts. I'm looking at the Lions. If you're unhappy now at the Lions, for me, don't go to the Colts. I think for me, it's the stake. If I go into the Panthers, however, if they hold on to McCaffrey and they hold on to the weapons that they'll probably be able to draft in, for me, that is the better place for him to go. I totally agree that I think he is underrated. I've watched him come back from games. I've seen what he's done with 2 to 3 minutes left of a game. I think he holds a big stake. However, the Lions really should be doing all they can for me to keep him. I don't know why they would allow Stafford to go.
I just have to ask, I can't believe what you're saying about the Colts and the Lions being a sideways move, essentially. Did you watch the Colts this year?
Why move from somewhere that, okay, I'm not winning anything, to move to another team does not win anything? It's like DESHAUN.
They're a very well-rounded roster that are in a position in the next few years with a better quarterback to make a Super Bowl run. They are. That's a fact. And the Lions are light years away from that.
I'm telling you now, we'll be sitting here next year. If Stafford ends up with the Colts, I'm telling you now, they have won nothing. 0. Not even anywhere close. They won't make the playoffs. Even if Stafford goes to
the Lions will?
I think they've got more chance. I'm telling you now, I think they'd have more chance than the Colts.
I think we've got a friend in the X and O's group who's going to be very interested in your take on his team. But Dan, what do you feel?
Look, I think there's a big confusion, personally, in my opinion, between talent and actual ability to win games. Matthew Stafford is talented. I'll give you that, no doubt about it. Great arm strength. But can he actually be the difference maker for these teams? No. I think the Colts is a good shout. You look at what Philip Rivers did with the Colts, getting them to the playoffs, got their quarterback away. But I don't really think Matthew Stafford is that piece. When you look at since 2018, look at the QBs that Matthew Stafford has been against. He hasn't really won the division properly. He's played Aaron Rodgers, and you take Aaron Rodgers out, he's got a losing record against the Bears and the Vikings, and the Bears have had Mitch Trubisky since 2018. Mitch Trubisky's got a better win record than Matthew Stafford, and if you're supposed to be this great QB, you should be able to elevate your teams. And look at DESHAUN Watson; he's still able to do 10-6 last year with a bad Texas team. You look at QBs and what they've been able to do, and they've been able to elevate the team and get them being competitive. Matthew Stafford hasn't. I know the Lions have been a joke of an organization for the longest time. They're the reason why Barry Sanders and Megatron have retired early. But is Matthew Stafford really that good of a QB? I don't know. I personally think I'll probably see him in San Francisco, personally. I think he's going to go to San Francisco. But yeah, I'm not necessarily a big fan of Matthew Stafford.
I think if you went to the 49ers, you know, I think he's going to show you guys just what I think of him. I think that he has kept the Lions in contention in a lot of games where they should have been blown away. I think he's been in. Even if you're comparing him to Deshaun Watson, at the start of the season with all that disarray, Deshaun Watson was losing. You know, in that team, and not even he could save them. And I think that he's been in that. Deshaun Watson's had obviously a short career in the NFL, and he's had a little snippet of what Matthew Stafford has to put up with all this time. Terrible, you know, management.
Dre, I will say
drafting.
this: like, first of all, Deshaun's beaten good teams, and he's been competitive against good teams. Matt Stafford, like I say, he's got a losing record against the Vikings and the Bears, outside of Aaron Rodgers and Green Bay. But also, I think Matthew Stafford is just a better version of Jay Cutler. Said it.
I don't say anything bad about Deshaun Watson, Dre. Please don't do that. You put another 20p in Dan every time.
Did you just say that he is just marginally better than Jay?
I think he's
Cutler?
the better version of Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler had talent. He just didn't care. I think Matthew Stafford has got talent. I think he's a better version of Jay. He's a better version of Jay Cutler. He's Jay Cutler 2.0.
On behalf of Matthew Stafford, I'm going to say, how dare you? First of all. Second of all, I'm going to please Matthew Stafford, please move to the NFC West just to make sure that he showed you. I cannot believe you said that.
I reckon, for the record, I reckon he'll go to Washington, but fine.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, but I probably won't like him for different Homer reasons then if he's going up against the Giants and destroying us in a different way.
Loads of cap space. Loads of picks.
Dan, you should be ashamed of yourself. That's a disgraceful comment.
He's an upgrade for Washington.
Yeah, well, we'll soon see. But Dan, you're terrible. That's a terrible thing to say. Jay Cutler, my God. Let's move on to two elite quarterbacks at the moment that are going to be doing battle next week. I was thinking that I haven't seen a quarterback, quarterbacks in their prime, kind of like, you know, in the situation that these guys are going to be in the Super Bowl. I can't think of anything that is like, you know, elite versus elite. You guys, I'm going to ask you guys this, right? So you're drafting your team right now. You got a pick for a quarterback. Who are you choosing right here and right now? Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady? Let me go with Dan first of all.
First of all, you said you couldn't remember elite. Didn't Drew Brees play Peyton Manning in the Super Bowl? The Colts versus the Saints, and then the onside kick in halftime. So that is so. Who am I going with? I'm probably going with I think it's going to boil down to coaching. I don't actually think it's going to be down to player personnel. I think coaching is going to win this matchup. And I take Andy Reid over Bruce Arians all day, every day, especially when he's got sort of time to plan and be strategic. Kansas City, I feel like they haven't really hit out of, you know, their first gear, and they're still just demolishing teams. I felt like Kansas City could have run up the score against the Buffalo Bills, and they just didn't. After halftime, they just took a step back. I think Kansas City are the more dangerous team. Brady has got the experience, he's got the know-how, and their defense is playing lights out. They're unbeaten after their bye, so Brady's definitely got his message across to the team. It's going to be an interesting matchup. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think Kansas City will just edge it based on the coaching.
But that means you'll take Mahomes over Brady right now?
I'm going to take Brady over Mahomes, but I'll take Andy Reid.
You're giving me a whole analysis of the game.
I'll give Andy Reid over stuff. You got to take Brady. He's still the GOAT.
Dan's misunderstood the question.
Yeah, he missed it.
I'll take Brady.
You take Brady right now over Mahomes?
I'll take Brady.
Okay. All right, Hannah.
Is this to build a team around?
So just in a one-off game, you know, equal teams, who would you go for? Who do you reckon is best right now?
Can't answer that.
Yes, you can.
I'll be in 2 weeks' time. Right now.
Well, you want after the game?
Right now, I'd probably pick Brady. You can't remove the teams from. I don't understand the question. Is this if I'm building a franchise or if I'm just? I don't get it. What's the question?
Who do you think is a better quarterback right now?
Brady.
Who do you choose out of those two now? Non-past performances right here and right now. Who's the best?
You can't take past performances out of it when you're discussing Tom Brady.
Oh, okay. All right, I'll give you that as well.
Okay. No, I'll say this. Based on how they're playing right now,
I would pick
Patrick Mahomes, because I tell you why. Tom Brady threw 3 interceptions on consecutive drives. in their game against the Packers, which is not good. His defense got him out of a hole there. Mahomes doesn't make mistakes like that. So I would go Mahomes. I'm not saying that is how I see the Super Bowl going, and I am not making a pick for the Super Bowl when it's 9 days away, because that would be crazy.
We're that's too far away from them.
But yeah, I'd go Mahomes. Why not?
Right, we've got one for each. Sam, you're gonna pick the winner.
Mahomes, right here, right here, right now. I think if there's Brady, yes, is the GOAT. There is no question. I'm saying Mahomes. If you need to change it up, Mahomes has the weapons in himself to do that. He can win the game himself. I think Brady, yes, he does sometimes rely on the talent that's around him. And don't get me wrong, he'll land that ball perfectly for that talent to catch it, but he's still reliant on someone else. I think Mahomes can go and win the game in a sense on his own to be that game changer. If you were rolling it back, knowing what we knew now, and you were drafting at a young age, you take Brady, because I think their longevity and experience, 100%. But right here, right now, even teams, as you put it, Mahomes.
Mm-hmm. That's well, you know what? It's I can't choose, because every single time, and I've done this for many years, written off Brady, except for when it was against us. 2 times he didn't beat us in the Super Bowl. Just make it clear to all you Patriots fans and all you Brady fans who won out of Eli and Tom Brady.
How's Eli getting on now?
Never mind. Anyway, but no, I you know what? Just last week, I literally just was thinking there's no way in hell that he's going to be able to defeat, a good-looking Packers team, and he just that pass to Scott Miller was. I'm still stunned now to this time. So who will I choose? I don't know. You're gonna have to find out next week. I'll take the easy option out after pressuring these guys. This is a quick show this week, because obviously we've got a lot of content coming out next week for the Super Bowl previews. Obviously, I'm going to be pressuring these guys in some form of way to be able to get you guys a good Super Bowl menu. Hannah's going to give us a vegan one or vegetarian one.
Yeah, but what I will say, if you are a carnivore, I'm going to mention these guys because they did send me some stuff to make. Hickory Smokehouse. Find them on Instagram. They're doing a Super Bowl. Looks incredible. So
is that the Doctor Who shout?
I would order that now if I was a carnivore, because it's really.
She just Hannah, you froze.
Hannah, could you say that again? You froze.
You froze.
See, I knew it weren't me. Blaming my internet. Right, I'll do it again.
It wasn't me earlier.
No, it was all you earlier, Dre.
Well, I'll do it again.
I am going to make a shout out now for food, because if you wait till next week, you'll have left it too late. Hickory Smokehouse, look them up on Instagram. They're doing this epic, if you're a carnivore, Super Bowl meal box. It's like ribs, pulled pork, chicken wings. They sent me one to try before Christmas. I am not carnivore. Partner is. He almost died and went to meat-filled heaven and had to have a lie down afterwards. So
good.
So we're gonna see what also Sam and Dan come out with. Dan's likes to think of himself as some Michelin star chef. So it'll be quite. And then Dan thinks he's like grill master on the barbecue. So we'll see what they come with, because I know Sam definitely can't cook in the kitchen, only outside of the kitchen.
Why do you say I can't grill? I don't understand it. Why would you take that away from me? Me and my barbecue.
Barbecue wars coming this summer. Lockdown again, because that's all. No,
don't say that. Don't you dare say that.
I'm sorry. It looks like it's gonna happen. Well, but we'll get out at some point before next season. We'll be out. But until then, we just got to enjoy little bits that we can. Hannah's got so angry that she's froze, and
Positive life only. Done.
I'm going to use this opportunity to wrap before Hannah goes even more mad, because she got so angry again. She just froze in motion like this. So, guys, thanks again for watching. Obviously, we've got one game to go, unfortunately, but anyway, it's the Super Bowl. We're trying to get more stuff out there for you guys. And we'll see what these guys come up with menu-wise. Dan's thinking he's looking a bit too confident for my liking. Other people have to be able to cook what you're putting together, Dan, as well. So you can't,
mate. People can cook. You know what I mean? I
can't bring out like just filet mignon or something like that. It has to be something that other people can cook.
Mate, pulled pork is easy to cook.
It's got to be something that's easy, so you can like just put it in the oven or something, and then just get it out when there's a break between quarters. Like, it's no fuss, right? Because you don't want to be in the kitchen and missing the game.
Yeah, that's right. An hour prep, an hour to
Mate, what you could know, you do
not a whole
pork.
day like Dan's gonna put up.
No, you put pulled pork.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying you put in that stuff and then you wait, because by the time the Super Bowl hits, it's going to be like 11. It's going to be like 11 anyways, 11, 12. So you put it in during the day, you let that roast, you let it marinate, and you're easy. And then when it comes to the Super Bowl, you just let it go from there. What are you going to do during the Sunday anyways? And
then here you have our pretentious menu that's coming next week. So guys, thanks again for joining us. Obviously, keep a lookout for what we're going to be doing on Alt Sport and Verge Magazine. But until next week, we love you. Peace.